Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Love to see you all here for another one, and especially joining me on this beautiful walk here on the beach. So I don't know if anyone has ever told you, but the path to wealth is a lonely path. And of course I say it's a lonely path depending on whether you can find like-minded folks. But the people that you used to enjoy spending time with and the people that you most love, if they're not on the same path, it's going to be a lonely road for you. So if this is your first time on the channel, guys, welcome. Glad to have you here. I love you and appreciate you all. But more importantly, I do love and appreciate even more my returning subscribers. We're not like the cable companies here. We don't give out good deals only to new customers. We love everybody who's been with me since the start. Now make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so that way you're notified whenever I upload new videos to the channel. Go ahead and give me a like for the video as it helps the channel grow. And don't forget to share this with a family member or friend, especially one who's on a similar path, because it's always good to discuss these feelings. It's quite interesting. Also as well, pinned to the comments and links in the description if you're interested in a financial coaching, financial mentoring session, and especially if you need someone to talk to about what I'm going to talk about today, because it is a doozy. So as you start ascending on your financial path and your financial journey, and you start to hit all these milestones where you do really well, you'll start to notice a couple of things. Number one, the people who you thought were your friends are really not your friends. Another thing that you'll notice is that people will start to treat you differently. And there's a lot of negative things that come from that type of treatment. Let's talk about the first one. There's been people in my life where I had shared with them that I was on a specific financial track, and I was sharing my excitement and letting them know when I hit certain milestones, like my first $100,000 or my first $500,000, so on and so forth. And what I started to realize is that those folks that I was sharing that information with, they would tell me to my face that, hey, that is awesome, you know, I'm really happy for you. But the weird thing was, you know, people talk and word gets around, and of course everyone loves to gossip. That's the way of the world, no matter, you know, where you go. And word gets back to me that, you know, this person was talking negatively about you, that apparently you're too good because, you know, you hit financial milestones that they weren't able to hit. And it's very interesting because it's a reflection of the work that they didn't put in. So they feel like they have the need to put you down because you decided to do the work and they didn't do the work. So it's a sad state of affair when people who you thought were your very close friends and family members for many years, you start to realize that, hey, you know, you can't associate with people like that, because how can you trust them if they are the ones going behind your back and talking negatively about you? There's nothing worse than that feeling of betrayal where you think someone has your back and instead they're just speaking negatively about you. Now, the other thing that I've noticed when you hit certain financial milestones and people know that you've hit those milestones, they start to treat you differently. They'll start to say things like, oh, now that you're wealthy, can you hang out with poor people like us? They'll start to ask you in order to borrow money. In fact, actually, I had a situation where a family member asked me about funding their business because they had realized that I had hit certain milestones. And it's quite interesting because, you know, I had to learn how to say no to that. You know, I had this very same conversation with a friend of mine who's also doing well financially. Shout out to my best friend, Peter. Peter, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. Peter and I had a great conversation about money. And one of the things that I think that I've learned from him is that Peter mentioned he doesn't tell his family, he doesn't tell friends, he doesn't tell anybody where he's at from a financial perspective. So Peter mentioned to me that by talking to family members and friends about money, a lot of the times it turned into either negative conversations, or the other thing, it turns into comparison. People start to compare themselves to you, and it's just a natural human nature. And so he always valued the person over anything that can come out of having conversations financially. So he just decides not to talk to his family member or friends about money. While I like Peter's approach, I think it's really awesome in the sense that you can do that with certain kinds of people, and then with other people, those like-minded folks who are also doing well, you can have those conversations with, you can share your successes. And so I take it as a two-step approach, because let's be honest, you can't cut everybody off from your life. I'll give you an example. What happens if your mother or your father is the person who doesn't understand finances, and by you talking to them, all it does is strain the relationships. They make snarky comments like I just mentioned. They ask you for money, right? They're your parents. So you don't want to ignore them, but at the same time too, you realize that they are not responsible enough to understand the information that you are sharing. So with those people, I can definitely take the approach of the conversation that I've had with Peter. Now, as another example, let's say I have a mentor who does about $10 million a year, and I'm trying to make it to my first million. That is a person that I can talk to and open up from a financial perspective, the things that I'm doing and how to succeed from where I am today, because they've been there. They can share some knowledge and some wisdom and some insights. And when you hit those milestones, they are genuinely happy for you. And it's not about making snarky comments or making you believe that you're better than them for whatever reason. Right? It's just that toxic behavior that I see a lot when it comes to sharing things about money. Here's something that I thought of this morning. When I hear people say wealth is quiet, people don't like to show money or anything along those lines, I'm starting to notice that people only show money around those who have money. And when you are around people who don't have money, you want to kind of fit in so that way they feel like, you're one of them. Right? And it's just the sad reality of what I'm seeing. But let's say, for example, you are loud with your money and you go in a place that people have not hit those financial milestones, you become a target. People just make fun of you. They make you feel like you're not welcomed. It's a very, very interesting dynamic. And that's why I'm starting to believe that wealth is quiet, and wealth is quiet in some places because you almost have to be. And there's a lot of different contexts that I can talk to you about in many videos to come. Like, for example, wealth in the workplace. That's an interesting topic. I've already run into that situation myself. But again, guys, I don't want to make this video too long. So I'll leave you with one last thing before I head out. Now, guys, life is too short. Too short to be worried about what other people think of you. Too short to worry about whether you'll be able to find other people who are like-minded like you. The most important thing is to enjoy your life, find your tribe, find the people who are going to celebrate you wherever you're going to go, and move towards that direction. Because at the end of the day, even if I'm talking to you from a financial perspective and how to be successful, when it's all said and done, the money doesn't matter. What matters is the memories that you've created, the friendships that you've built, and the amazing life that you've lived. Money is nothing but a tool. You could either use it to make your life incredible, or you can spend your whole life chasing it, worried that you don't have enough, or worrying about what other people think of you as you go through on your financial journey. You make your choice.